All right. So we're starting later. I want to dive right in, and then I'll wrap up with some motivation so we can get some good teaching. I had asked Mr. Chavez to share with us this morning. Tomorrow I'm going to go through, we're going to do some drill for skill and actually showing the ultimate, and I want to make sure that we're all on the same page for that. But I had asked Chavez if he'd be willing to share with us this morning and really walk through maximizing sales with Cutco customers. He sees a lot of people that own Cutco, and you guys are going to be seeing a lot of people that own Cutco, and really making sure that you are not missing out on those sales, because you can have some pretty phenomenal sales. So I'm going to bring them up here. I know we've got some people streaming from other offices, checking things out. So I want to, I have it. We are on YouTube, by the way, on under events. I'm going to put this here so we have this. Okay, so you guys want to have some pen and paper so you can walk through just kind of like what to do. It's a little bit of a different demo, and I know like I had to learn initially. I always thought that you actually like, it didn't matter to really do features and benefits that much because they already had Cutco. And what I learned is I got really good at doing service. It's actually one of the parts you want to hit the most is reminding them why they invested into Cutco and how great their stuff is and getting the testimonial. And it's almost like them reselling themselves on it, you know? So there's little things that you do a little bit different to really maximize and impact these sales. So I'm going to, hand things over to Mr. Chavez here. So
cool. What's up? You guys. So let's see what we can do for the day. But so yeah, I do a lot of service calls, and honestly, I love service calls because, dude, I mean, people are already sold on the product. Not only did they already buy it, so it's like they helped out a college student already and they want to help you out, but they're sold on it because they've been using it for like 5, 10, 15, 20, sometimes even like 50 years. I kid you not. So, I mean, when you walk in, there's a couple things that I do. Alan Seal kind of taught me this. He was my old manager, but Ms. Jones is going to have something in her house that she wants you to like notice. She puts something in her house that she loves more than anything else. And if you can notice what that is, it's usually like a picture or art or like plants, or like if you can tell what it is that she likes and you can just mention about it, you're going to bring her wall down. Because when you first walk into her house, everybody kind of has this like wall for a salesperson, and you just kind of have to like poke and prod and like tickle her until she's like, oh, hey, I kind of like this guy. He's kind of cool. And then they want to help you out. But when you walk in the house, just have like a real burst of energy. If you walk into her, if you meet somebody and they're like, hey, I'm Alex, it's nice to meet you. I'm going to come sharpen your knives. Is that cool? She's going to be like, come on, get out of here. Like, this is no fun. But if you walk in and you're just like, boom, and you explode and you're just like, hey, I'm Alex, nice to meet you. And you just I start talking real loud for the first like 30 seconds. And then I match her tone because just matching tone and being on her same level is important. But you do want to be about 10% more energy than she is at all times, because you want to be able to like lead her in her emotions. But anyways, I mean, what are you guys at in career right now? Just out of curiosity. 1,800? Little 6,000? Cool, awesome. So whenever you guys do start sharpenings, I'm guessing this is what, are they going to be doing sharpenings and stuff? Well, so when you guys do sharpenings and stuff, I will take my sharpener, and that's when I build rapport. I mean, I don't start setting up immediately, you know. I mean, you let her like kind of lead the way, tell you what to do a little ways, but yeah, you just, for those who don't sharpen, you just build rapport and start talking. You look at her knives and make sure they're good and sharp. Come talk to me afterwards about making sure a knife is sharp. There's different ways you can do it, but yeah, leather and stuff. But look at the double D edges and make sure they're not completely worn down. If they are completely worn down, then at the end of the demo or even at the beginning, however you feel, just help her figure out, like, write up the order form, send it back and everything. But it's very, very important. So if you do sharpen her knives, you sharpen them up. And a question that's very good at building rapport is, what do you use this knife for, Miss Jones? Because that's like knife 101, and she probably has no idea how to use the knives, to be honest. Now, she knows probably better than you guys know how to use the knives, but she's probably like, I just grab a knife for everything. You know, I grab one knife and I do everything with it. But so just ask her what she uses the knife for, make sure they're good and sharp. Explain to her what you're going to do, and then at the end of it, say, okay, this knife might need to be sent back. This knife might need to be sent back in like 2 to 3 years. So after you do that, you kind of like put everything away, and I put everything away, kind of just put in my blue book, and I say you got to ask if it's okay to share your goals with them. Like, Ms. Jones, is it okay if I just tell you like a little bit about myself and why I'm working with Cutco? And she's like, yeah, of course. Getting her tied into your goals is like the most important thing possible. Like, that is number one. If somebody tells me, like yesterday, I had a 10-minute demo. I only literally had 10 minutes. I spent about 7 minutes on telling her about me and my goals and stuff. I spent about 3 minutes on the knives. She didn't buy anything, which is okay. I kind of knew she wasn't. But then she referred me to 10 like ridiculous people. I am so excited to call through those people today. And that's the main thing. I mean, Cutco's kind of going to sell itself, especially with people that already have it. But getting recommendations from people, because it's not throwing their friends under the bus, it's helping them get on the Cutco train. So for me, sales are very, very important, but recommendations are way, way more important, because that's how you grow your business, and you always want to keep going. So as I go through, so I'll have all my like scholarship stuff. I don't know if you really want me to go through all my scholarship and how I talk about that. I basically do the Hal Elrod approach. It's money, but the main thing is at the end of your scholarship approach, say something along the lines of, Ms. Jones, as funny as it may sound, my number one goal today isn't to sell you a ton of Cutco, it's to find out what you like, what you need, and also just so you feel comfortable with me and you enjoy this presentation, so you'll refer me to your friends and family, because that's how I grow my business. Now, this is my favorite part of the job, because I know that hard work and dedication and like the degree are going to get me places in life, but also the hands you shake and the people you meet have such an impact in your future. But thank you so much for listening to the appointment, Ms. Jones. And you kind of, I dive into it, and I'm like, Mr. Like I tell her at the beginning, Ms. Jones, like I ask, how many presentations have you done? How much about Cutco do you know? So that way I can cut out what you already know. You know, if she's like, oh, guaranteed forever and dishwasher safe, blah, 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 then you kind of like, you do touch on the guarantee, but you talk about it faster. All right. So when I go through this stuff, I really don't talk about this that much. You can kind of just be like shopping spree, but Cutco's made in America. This is literally how I'll do my presentation. Cutco's made in America. We've been around since 1949. Everything you see is American made and guaranteed forever. I'm sure you remember that. Junk knives, now do you put them in the dishwasher? And I asked Ms. Jones, do you put them in the dishwasher? Because sometimes they don't. If they don't put them in the dishwasher, then you just kind of like say that it's okay for them to put them in the dishwasher. You explain a little bit. If they're like interested as to why you can put them in the dishwasher, then I go into it. But if they're like, oh no, I was just taught by mom that you never to put it in the dishwasher, then don't worry about it. Like, just let her do what Ms. Jones does. And then you talk about the double D edge. So I do talk about the double D edge in my presentations, because a lot of reps haven't, or they don't remember it. They just look at it as serrated. So I say most serrated blades look like this. They've got little loops where the points do the cutting. Our blade, the points do the protecting, while the recessed edges in between do the cutting. All right, and that way, your blade stays sharper for longer. Now, I've got a testimonial at this point in my presentations that's had a huge impact on my recommendations, and it is Ms. Hope Hennessy. I don't know if you guys know who that is. They own the Hennessy Sports and Motors Vehicles. But I say, Ms. Hope already had the really big set. She never used it for 8 to 9 years. It was crazy. But she bought a couple things, which was really, really cool. But, she introduced me to 20 people. And out of those 20 people, I only saw 12 or 13 of them. But they introduced me to the next 120, 130 people. And I say this right in between like what I'm talking about Cutco, and it kind of breaks it up a little bit. But anyways, they introduced me to like 120, 130 people. And that's how my second summer really boomed. And the cool thing is, even if they didn't buy, they still introduced me to like more people, and it's all about networking and meeting new people in this job. So that puts in their mind again, is planting seeds that you're gonna ask again. And I kid you not, guys, the past like 7 demos, I've got an average of 10 to 30 recs. So it really has had an impact. Now, when I talk about the forever guarantee, I rarely touch about, I never talk about the misuse and abuse. But because they already kind of have Cutco, this is with Cutco customers, you just say if a tip breaks off or a rivet comes out, you get a brand new knife for free. If you ever want it to be sharpened, you can always send it back. I recommend you do that when you go on vacation, because most people found they don't want to be without their knives for like 2 weeks. But the cool thing is now, Ms. Jones, I get paid just to come out when you guys get trained. You say I get paid just to come out and sharpen your knives. And it's a service covered in the guarantee. And then I cover the 15-day unconditional money-back guarantee when I close. Because I'll say, now, Ms. Jones, I kind of use Kathy's thing, but I'll go over that in a minute. So if they don't put them in the dishwasher, I talk about like why they should be dishwasher safe. And then I do mention the double D edge because it is patented by our company. It's actually a pretty unique feature. And then the guarantee, you always have to cover that just to kind of give them a reminder. And when I get into knives and stuff, I'll go kind of through my old approach. If they have a homemaker, I'm so excited. If they have a homemaker, it's a signature or ultimate upgrade, hands down, so easy. If they have a couple knives, I'm like 75% sure I'm going to close them on a homemaker or a signature because those are sets. Everybody needs a homemaker. Once you can get that in your brain that everybody needs a homemaker, the smaller sets are just gift sets. Those are second home sets. I mean, those are so small that everybody has 7 knives, 2 forks, and some sort of spatula in their house right now. But anyways, if they have a homemaker, the way I'll sell them on the signature and ultimate is, Miss Jones, these were the pieces that people bought 10, 20, 30 years ago, and they actually wrote into Cutco and requested a couple specialty pieces that we have in our medium set and our complete set right here. So the medium set adds on the Bad Boy, the cheese knife, and the Rachel Ray knife, and you kind of go through these how you like. But the Bad Boy, I use Kathy's approach. This is kind of like the guys at the gym that are all big and jacked and they think they can do anything, Ms. Jones. This knife can do anything. The butcher knife, people loved it, but they said sometimes the straight edge had the tendency to wear down faster on like really hard things like bones and acorn squashes. So that's why we came out with the serrated Bad Boys, kind of like mom's cleaver too, because it's not as big as our cleaver, but it's still going to do the job for you. And then a lot of people loved our chef knife, but it was way too big sometimes for the onions and intricate mincing and dicing. So that's why we came out with the Rachel Ray Poly D knife. And then you asked, do you guys ever cut cheese or potatoes or anything like that? And yeah. And then they're like, okay, cool. This is our most unique knife. This is the cheese knife. It's a totally legit bottle opener. You can use it to cut cheese, cut tomatoes, cut potatoes, cut apples, onions. Sometimes my mom will use it to cut her onions and she says that she'll burn, but she won't tear up as bad. And I think it's because the holes don't squeeze out all the juices and stuff. It's also our sharpest knife that we have because of our micro double D edge. And then I'll go into the complete set, but when I go into it, it's more of like, the complete set's got 2 more chef knives. It's always a good thing to have more chef knives. A cleaver, a salmon knife, which is also great for watermelon, and also fish that isn't like brought from the sea. It's also really good for just making sushi. A boning knife, I think this knife should be in every single set, and I seriously do. If I customize any set, I will always put the boning knife in there because it's an amazing raw meats knife. The amazing cheese knife and a 4-inch paring knife because Ms. Jones, and then you pick up her paring knife and you're like, this one? People loved it. It's like the world's sharpest paring knife, but the blade's sometimes too small to separate an apple or a potato. So that's why we came out with the 4-inch paring knife. So it's just a little bit longer, more utility. And then you get either 12 of the steak knives or the table knives in the set and the scissors. So if you were to upgrade to a set, would you go with our medium set or would you go with our complete set, the best set we have? And you just kind of let her pick and choose. Now, if she's unsure, if she's like, oh, I just don't know, then you've got to like be her friend there with her. That's where building rapport comes in because it's shopping with a friend versus like selling them a product. And I found that whenever I'll say something at the beginning, right after the guarantee, I'll say, now Ms. Jones, you can, hey, do whatever you want. You know, you can buy everything a la carte. You can buy sets. I'll tell you right now, if it's a budget thing, then just buying a couple knives is cool and getting some of the specialty pieces. If it's not a budget thing, then most people I see do prefer the sets. They come with an included discount, plus I can give way more free stuff, so it's really cool. All right, and that puts it in their mind that, you know, it's okay. Like, they want to help you out and they want to buy a set, but sometimes people aren't ready to spend $5,000, $6,000, $2,000 on a set, you know, or upgrading. So that way it's okay in their mind now to buy a couple knives, which is still a good order, but you still talk about the sets first because that's what you're going to convince them on. So right there, you ask what they like. And when you get the question, okay, so what was the difference between this set and this set? That's like money. Like, I get so excited when I hear that question. I'm just like, oh, I'm going to sell something. Yay. Well, yeah. So you ask those questions, go through it. And then I like to make a wish list, especially when I do my, shoot, I'm not sure if I've got it on me. But at the top of, I've got a little book that I've got like everybody's wish list. And I'll tell Ms. Jones, you know, Ms. Jones, this is everything that you would want of Cutco if it were falling from the sky and you could pick up whatever pieces you wanted to. Now remember, you've got your neighbors and they're also grabbing all the Cutco, so you got to be fast. And then you've got Cutco falling and it's pretty sharp, so you got to like watch out. So when you're going out there, what would be the pieces you would grab? And we'll write this down. It doesn't mean you're getting it today. It just means it's something you would like. Now, yeah, most people don't get it all at once, but some people do see the amazing, ridiculous deal I give you, and they understand the value of package deals. But just do whatever you want to do. And that way it also builds up like, well, it's okay to buy just a little bit now. And then I also say, at the end of the presentation, I'll say, now, if they don't buy everything, I'll say, Ms. Jones, is it okay if I call you at the end of my competitions if I'm a little bit short, like $200 or $300, and you can just buy like 1 or 2 more knives? And I'm always going to be short of my goal, you know. And but I know what they liked, and I know what they have. So when I call them, 30-second conversation that goes, hey, how you doing? Build a report real quick, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. You know the wish list. I'm really short of my goal. Here's the knife you really liked. All right. I always ask for the biggest knife. But yeah, and then you just drop down from there to smaller knives. But that way you know what they have. And then whenever, if it's over a $2,000 order, I will give the most amazing deal they will ever see. Like, I don't care how, like, I do care how much it hurts my CPO. It does hurt. But like, if they're looking at a $2,000 order and I drop it from 2,000 down to like 1,600 or 1,500, they're going to be like, whoa, oh, wow. And then I say, you know, I mean, you guys can say this in your own words, but I say, you know, Ms. Jones, I am one of the top reps in the nation. Only 1% of Cutco reps get to my level. And not only do I give good deals, or can I give good deals, but I do love to give good deals. And you can tell your friends that I'm going to give them a good deal also. And that's also where referrals comes in. Because when you give good deals, everybody wants to go talk about their friends about what kind of good deal they got. Oh my gosh, I got this amazing deal. So yeah, after you ask what set they like, closing questions, pre-closing questions you can ask, which Kathy's always already taught you this, and it's in the manual. But you guys probably don't think about it, but it is very important. Asking what color knives they want is like vital. Because it like closes it in their mind. Oh, if I did get it, I'd get the black handled ones. Okay, I'd get the black. And then if I did get it, I'd get the cherry ones. Like, where would you put it, Ms. Jones? And you kind of like look around her kitchen, and she's like, oh, I'd have to move some things around, right? And you're like, and then it's like in her kitchen, in her mind, all right? It's kind of like closing it ahead of time. So asking those questions are important. Plus, it's the easy way to just build rapport and get them like excited about picking colors. Ms. Jones always likes to pick colors. And then usually I'll say, like, I will continue. Where's all the gadgets? In my old presentation, mine's a little different now, but I would definitely do my old one for you guys. It's basically Kathy's. I went through like everything, and I built up a massive wish list. And whenever I asked like sales guys and businessmen what they thought about my presentation, any tips they could give, they would say, you showed us the entire thing. Like, you showed us everything Cutco has to offer, which is good. Because there are times where people are like, oh my gosh, you guys have garden sets? You guys have garden tools? I love to garden. Why didn't you tell me about this? And it's like, oh my gosh, that's $260 right there, like 240 CPO. So continuing through this, I talk about the kitchen tools, like I talk about everything. I just continue building up that wish list. And then at the end, I will have like a $2,000 to $3,000 wish list. I try to get up to like $4,000 or $5,000 sometimes when you could put the cookware and flatware on there. But if I could have a piece of paper to kind of close. Yeah. What's up, Will? And a pen. So I go through everything, and let's say they're looking at like a signature upgrade from a homemaker, and they have the table knives. And something I've started doing now, which you guys can definitely start doing, I promote the heck out of the table knives. Love those table knives. My mom loves them. They were sold as steak knives up until 2012. I do sell, and I tell Ms. Jones, you know, these table knives are awesome. They're safe for little kids. They're versatile, easy to use. We do have a traditional steak knife, but if you walked into Taste of Texas or some like legit steak place, they would give you something more like our deluxe steak knife, and I pull out the hunting knife. And I've sold sets of hunting knives as steak knives, and that's like a $500 order, and it's golden because one lady was like, no, I don't want anything of Cutco, but those steak knives are awesome. And I was like, yes, they are. But anyways, you sell the table knives first, and then I upgrade them later or upsell them later on to the steak knives. Does that make sense? So I sell them on like the signature with table knives, with the deluxe steak knives, and then at the end of the presentation, after I've got their debit card or credit card, I say, by the way, Ms. Jones, just so you know, since you got the signature with the table knives and I give you this for free, if you really like those steak knives, I can actually give you them for like 25% off. And that's just like the upsell to like another $300. But anyways, promote the heck out of the steak knives and then, or the table knives, and sell the hunting knives, the steak knives. So if it's a SIG upgrade with the table, and then I'll say, Ms. Jones, if you were to get the kitchen tools, would you buy them as a set or would you pick and choose what you wanted? And then she'll usually be like, well, I'll just get the basting spoon and the spatula. And I really like the red scissors because I always say people get the black scissors for the kitchen, people get the red scissors for the house because it's not only good for the kitchen, but it's also really good for opening like the calculator packages that are really impossible. And she's like, oh my gosh, yes, I need these now. And then, okay, Ms. Jones, out of the flatware, did you love it? How many place settings would you get? Whenever I ask for the flatware, I always ask, did you love it? And it kind of puts it in their mind. If they did love it for any reason, a little bit, then they're, oh yeah, I did love it a little bit. And then they're gonna like put it on the wish list. If they say no, let's just pretend they say no to that right now. And I'm gonna say kitchen tool, we already went over that. And then gadgets. Now, this is more of a practicality thing, Ms. Jones, because I'm usually giving these away for free with the sets. It's a practicality thing. So if you got, like, do you eat a lot of things out of cans? Do you eat a lot of pizza? What about ice cream scoops and vegetable peelers? And she'll kind of pick and choose a couple things. So let's just say 3 gadgets. And then do you guys ever do any outdoorsy stuff? Does your husband ever hunt? Do you have any Boy Scouts for the K-bars and stuff? Usually they'll say yes, they hunt. And if they do, then they pick out something from this page, a fishing page. But let's say they love the gut hook and the fishing. And guys, by the way, this whole time, like, it happens almost every demo. This whole time, Ms. Jones is going to be like, not every time, but she's going to be like, this isn't what I'm really like. I don't even know if I were to get it, you know? And you're just like, if you were to get it, just so you can see my crazy awesome deal. All right? And it's okay. Just keep saying that. Just keep saying that because you're going to keep making a huge wish list, and that's the thing. If you got the garden tools, would you get the set or would you pick and choose what you needed? If they like to garden, they need to go, I'd probably just get the pruners and the transplant trowel. If they love to garden, then they'd get the whole thing because it really is like amazing. And that's how I do it for each thing. If you got the set, would you get the set or would you pick and choose what you wanted? And then I don't have these in here. But you can if you like. Okay, cool. And then so I'll close it and I'll be like, cool, that's it, Ms. Jones. That's what's up. That's all of Cutco. This is everything that you'd ever wanted. And I kind of like just get things organized on the table because I'm really messy myself. And it kind of just breaks things up. Sometimes, Ms. Jones, at this point, it's good to kind of break up like the thought process. You know, ask for a glass of water. Just pet the dog, look around, ask, so how'd you and your husband meet? You know, just like little questions like that, because it gets her mind, because after she just like went through everything, she's like, oh my gosh. Even me sometimes, I'm like, okay, we just went through everything. Okay, we need to settle down a little bit. And you got to get her in that, bring her back to that like emotional state, like Kathy was talking about at the beginning, emotional state of like helping you out with your scholarship and everything. So basically, when I go through my clothes, I've got everything that she liked right here. I kind of break it up, ask for a glass of water or something, and I go through Kathy's clothes, basically. And it's just, have you ever had a chance to go out and price find coloring, Ms. Jones? It's just like anything else in the world. There's a wide variety of prices and ranges. If you walked into Williams-Sonoma or Macy's right now and you asked for a good quality set of knives, they would direct you or introduce you to Shun or Wusov and Henkel's. Have you ever heard of those brands? And then asking them questions always throughout the presentation is important to get them engaged, because having them talking to you is so important. But what I'll do here is I will add up everything that's in here, and I'll say, look, Ms. Jones, what I'm going to do is add up everything that's in here, retail price, and let's just say it's like $3,000. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what kind of deal I can give you, and then, yeah, you can just kind of get what you want. So I'll do, and I'll kind of take my time as I'm writing this up. Now, as I'm writing this up, I do ask questions, you know, just like talking to her. Like, hey, what do you guys like to do when you're not waiting for the knife guy? Ha, 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 ha. How did you and your husband meet? Did you pursue him or did he pursue you? Oh, yeah, okay, all right. And you're just like figuring things out. And then once you feel that she is like done talking about her story or telling you how she feels, and you're like, cool, okay, so this is what's up. All right, and you just, so I do like $3,000, So she's got, can I write on this now? That was close. So you've got like everything she wanted, signature, upgrade, $3,000. And I say, now, Ms. Jones, I am a top rep, so what I can do for you, and I'll mark on here, I'll be like, so I'm actually giving you the gut hook, hunting knife, red scissors, all that for free. So I actually bring it down to $2,300 for you, all right? And you kind of like, it's not really that important, but I do kind of like let that sink in because, so then I kind of let it sink into her that you just gave her like $700 off and you're giving her all this free stuff. And you tell her, I mean, Ms. Jones, like, I am allowed to do this, or I'm doing this right now because of a competition X, Y, and Z. You've got to tie it back in with your goals. One thing that I used to say all the time, and it was money, was and I still need to say it, before I talk about my clothes, I'd say, Ms. Jones, now the awesome thing about this is that, well, I don't really want you to worry about what I'm going to make off commission, because while I'm going to blow this money on school and scholarship, you're going to have these knives for the rest of your life. So it's an investment. It's something that's worthwhile because you will use these, plus your kids will use them. And I'm going to give you an amazing deal. So normally retail price is about $3,000 for all this. If you wanted to get all of it, I could drop it down to $2,300 for you. And then most people don't pay that all at once. They they just put down 1/5 and they test it out for the month with this, which this would be like $470 or something with tax. I always add the tax into there. Always make the tax in there so there's no surprises. So you'd only pay $470 today and you get all this for free. Now, my clothes is a little different now, but I used to do it just very casually and I just talk and walk through it. Be like, so it'd say, Ms. Jones, the cool thing about this is while I'm just gonna blow this money on school, you're gonna have these knives for the rest of your life. It is an investment, something you're gonna use forever and your kids will use. Plus you'll enjoy your time in the kitchen. So retail price is like $3,000, sales price is $2,300. And then most people just put down $470 today, and this already includes the tax, so that way there's no surprises. You test it out for the month, make sure you love it, and at the end of it, you just either call into Cutco and say, hey, let me pay it all off, or you just let it run on your credit card, debit card for the next 4 months. It's interest free. So it would be like, what's today? June 10th, and then July 10th, August 10th, September, and then October, and then it's done. So yeah, what are you more comfortable with, paying in full or doing the monthlies? And then from there, usually that's option A. So I mean, I don't always get option A. Like it's probably like 1 out of every 7 or 10 I get option A. Yeah, every time. Like build it up. Like if I could have a $7,500 wish list, yeah. If I could have a $7,500 wish list, this is how Justin Ledford did it. Still does it, and I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he is like top dog in Cutco, next to Mike Lanzetta. And then from there, I had 2 different approaches I went with. I would either say, depending on how I feel the customer, if she's engaged and she's like, I really like this stuff, then a question like, well, Ms. Jones, what did you like? What did you like in it? And then she'll say, well, I don't really want to get like the fishing knife right now and the hunting knife. My husband already has a bunch of those, so we don't really need it. So, okay, cool. And you just like take those out real quick, and then you bring up another deal, all right?
You ask what they can do without.
Huh?
So pretty much you ask what you can do.
Yeah. So what are 2 or 3 things you could do without for now, or just ask for what to take out versus what they liked. But that way it kind of gets straight to the point, or you just take control of it and you just like, I mean, sometimes I know what a customer was like, I would never get that. It's like the basting spoon. Okay, yeah, you've got a bunch of spatulas and basting spoons. Let's just take those out, knock $100 off the price. Instead of $2,300, now it's $2,200. I gave you an even better deal, and the monthly is only like $450 or $430, whatever it is. And you just keep dropping down like that. Now you can be very meticulous about it, and you will close bigger things. But the main thing that Justin taught me was you got to ask for the big order. I mean, if anybody ever goes field training with Justin Ledford, I would strongly suggest it. You will see him right at the top of his page, $7,500, and it'll drop down to like $3,500. All right. And that's like almost ridiculous for, got it.
Thank you.
That's that's like a little, I mean, that's a really good deal, but he'll do that. Thank you. So yeah, that's how I go through building rapport with the customer. Now I do have, when it comes to building rapport, I do have my me page. which depends on what type of person they are. You can kind of gauge it, you know. Some people like to know all about your family and like to know everything. You kind of have to read that. And then some people just kind of want to get to it. But with my demo, the main thing is, even if Ms. Jones is like, I don't want to see a full presentation, or if I can tell that she's not interested at all, then I just still go through my demo. Like, just go through your demo, read the manual and go through it. And if you sell something when you sell something at the end, that's awesome. Whether it's big or small, you still sold something. And the main thing is getting recs. So yeah, at the end, you always ask, and I say, Ms. Jones, so how was that? How was the presentation? You know, and she's like, oh man, this is so cool. You did a good job, blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, cool. So this is my favorite, most important part at the end. And this is how you sponsor me. These are people throughout my Cutco career that have sponsored me and helped me grow my business. And then I ask, well, for me, a lot of people come from Houston Christian. Do you know Miss Annette Durrett? Do you know Miss Cynthia Adamson? Usually they're like, no, but it just kind of like puts it out there. Cool. So whenever you get to 10, 20, and 30, I actually get more points towards a scholarship, and it helps me hit my goal. And people have just been filling out, like, I mean, they fill out 10 every time. Like, it's like, I know that I'm getting 10 no matter what. But yeah, so just build up as big as a wish list. Ask if they get the set or individual pieces, and then give them a really good deal on the first order. And I always say give an amazing deal, because that's how you're going to create customers for life. But yeah, that's
Cool.
what I got.
Give a round of applause. Awesome. I love it. So grab one of these real quick, and we're going to read this as we wrap up. So I wanted to remind everybody, you know, as we're in this push, as we're going through these next 2 weeks, right? And so basically we've got 2 weeks. It was 14, or we had 14 days going through the push. We've got until 2 weeks from today. Thursday morning, you could do one more for sure, and there'll be a lot of people doing one at 8:30 or 9 a.m. and just meeting us at the hotel downtown. We need to be there by registrations between 10:30 and 11:30 for SC1. So when you get there, you'll register. Anyone who's there before 11:15 will get 3 extra chances into drawings that are going to be done for different Cutco and prizes that we're going to do for demos. So you guys will hear more about that. We'll walk through the agenda, finalizing the final speakers here in the next 2 days, and we'll have that done. But, you know, through these next weeks, you know, some of you guys yesterday had one of your crappy days. You know, some of you guys had an average day. Some of you guys had, you know, a great day. And guys, there's wild cards, you know, in this mix as we go through these days. You're going to have amazing days. You're going to have average days. You're going to have crappy days. And then there's, you know, wild card in there, you know, and just knowing that it's all part of the process. And every day we've got to start brand new, you know, and regardless of what happened the day before, regardless of the results, whether they were amazing, they were average, or they were crap, you know, like just, okay, today's a new day. Like, what's today going to be? And this is really important, just coaching your mindset and kind of setting the calculator at 0 every day. Your goal every day is, what am I doing to have a grand day today, right? Like, that should be your goal. And so sometimes you're going to have a 2 or 3K day. Sometimes it might just be $500 or $700, you know, but mission, finding an order every day, no matter what, whether it's for a gift. You know, we've got Father's Day by the week, a week from Monday. So calling back old customers to say, hey, I'm in a huge contest right now. We've got some great deals on like barbecue, fishing, hunting knives, and even any of the sets come with like great packages for Father's Day gifts. So bringing that up, as well as we had Isaac's been promoting Christmas gifts with people and saying, hey, if you you can buy packages or Christmas gifts now, put it over 5 months and it's paid off before Christmas is here, you know? So he's been promoting that as well with customers and past customers. So what are you doing to find an order each day from a past customer? I know Ryan messaged, I guess, people from your fraternity.
Yeah. Out-of-state kids that I knew like were sometimes like harder. I've asked them before to like do demos, or like I've posted before to like do demos, but then like I just texted them like 4 to 5 pictures, and it was like Father's Day is coming, and it was like just the outdoor knives, the K-bar, the barbecue set, and instantly people were like, well, he also needs like cooking knives too. And then like,
Yeah.
go for that. I got like 4 responses, like 3 sales like yesterday from just friends.
Awesome. So just finding, I just think about finding a way. What am I doing every day to create, and even when it's like I had a crappy day, and I remember, we were talking about this with getting yeses, because you can start the day with 1 or 2 demos and maybe they don't go well, but then you land an immediate, like you got on the phones, booked up, 6 more demos and an immediate, and you want to sold a kitchenette set on, that's something creating, where I know you already had demos after already booked up, but from that, like I've had someone do that like you just did, and then get introduced to one of their neighbors, and then go drop $1,000 on it or whatever, and all of a sudden create a grand day from scratch. And that's something that just takes you committing to actions no matter what. So I wanted to wrap up with this, and if Cam, you can start reading from the top, go through in paragraphs. So I am a person of action. So I have like a series of different decisions for success, and this one's I'm a person of action. Go for it.
Beginning today, I will create a new future by creating a new me. No longer will I dwell in a pit of despair, moaning over squandered time and lost opportunity. I can do nothing about the past. My future is immediate. I will grasp it in both hands and carry it with running feet. When I am faced with the choice of doing nothing or doing something, I will always choose to act. I seize the moment. I choose now.
All right, go for it.
I'm a person of action. I'm energetic. I move quickly. Knowing that laziness is a sin, I would create a habit of lively behavior. I will walk with a spring in my step and a smile on my face. The lifeblood rushing through my veins is urging me upward and forward into activity and accomplishment. Wealth and prosperity hide from the sluggard, but rich rewards come to the person who moves quickly.
Dylan.
I'm a person of action. I inspire others with my activity. I'm a leader. Leading is doing. To lead, I must move forward. Many people move out of the way for a person on the run. Others are caught up in his wake. My activity will create a wave of success for the people who follow. My activity will be consistent. This will install confidence in my leadership. As a leader, I have the ability to encourage and inspire others to greatness. It is true. An army of sheep led by a lion would defeat any army of lions led by a sheep.
Tovar.
I'm a person of action. I can make a decision, I can make it now. A person who moves either left or right is destined for mediocrity. When faced with a decision, many people will say they are waiting for God. But I understand in most cases, God is waiting for me. He has given me a healthy mind to gather and sort information and the courage to come to a conclusion. I am not a quivering dog, indecisive and fearful. My constitution is strong, my pathway clear. Successful people make their decisions quickly and change their minds slowly. Failure make their decisions slowly and change their minds quickly. My decisions come quickly and they lead to victory.
All right, and last, anything you want to wrap us up?
I'm a person of action. I am daring. I am courageous. Fear no longer has a place in my life. For too long, fear has outweighed my desire to make things better for my family. Never again. I've exposed fear as a vapor and imposter that never had any power over me in the first place. I do not fear opinion, gossip, or the idle chatter of monkeys. For all are the same to me. I do not fear failure. For in my life, failure is a myth. Failure exists only for the person who quits. I do not quit. I am courageous. I am a leader. I seize the moment. I choose now. I am a person of action.
All right, and I love this, and this is for some of you guys have heard or seen daily affirmations before. Just people make their own, and really just stating who you are, what you're about. This is something we'll talk about as we go into SC2 push in July, is making your own affirmation that you can read every single day, and it's really feeding your subconscious mind of like, I will not quit. I'm a leader. I take action. Going through that and just every single day reminding you of those things. And for some people, as you create, it's kind of speaking things into existence. It's kind of like speaking the future into existence, who you are, what you want to be, what you want to embody. And so many times when people create these different affirmations about themselves and who they want to be, it's really neat to see, because your mind, it goes towards those things, right, that you're focusing on, that you're talking. It's like you're speaking it into existence every single day. And we'll talk about later, and as we go through development, like one of the things that we'll talk about, stuff that I did a lot of coaching with Tony Robbins through Tony Robbins seminars and his Master University, and not just the verbal affirmation, but feeling it, saying it, including your physiology in it, not just saying the words of it, because I will take action, but saying like, I will take action, I will do this, and just feeling it throughout your body as you're saying it. And it's almost like you're reprogramming yourself to quote unquote believe these things that is you, is how you'll act, is how you'll react, is the future leader that you'll become. And that's something that to me is just so powerful. And it's just so wild how powerful the human mind is. And anyway, it's a powerful tool, and it'll take you in a very negative place, a very negative route, or it'll take you into a good route. And so I just want to remind you guys that, as we go through this push, what are you focused on? What are you leaning? I would put this somewhere that you can look at each day. I love this. And I have some different pre-printed ones that people have made. And this one, like I said, I'm a person of action, and these are different affirmations with success. But, and just be thinking about for you. And again, it's something you can start working on, but we're going to have an exercise next month where we actually, like, you guys create your own for that. Right now you can kind of copy those and kind of get a feel for, what makes you feel good. But just, saying these things again in the power of them. So for us, like, we're the warriors. We don't let down. And we're going to have a team mantra that Mary Lou and I are going to work on as well together. Just who we are, what we stand for, what we're all about. And I think that's just so important to have that as a group. And we'll work on that together of what we feel good about standing behind as we all push forward, grow. And again, this whole process is about growth. It's about development. It's about becoming a better version of you and expanding your capacity and, beyond what you thought was possible for you to achieve. So I want to thank you guys again for being here this morning. I know that when the alarm clock goes off, like, it's not exciting. I know that the ladies had told me beforehand that today was a day that stuff was going on early morning. And even Mary Lou had booked up a demo at 8 a.m. in the Woodlands. So she was driving up there since, before I was driving here. She's, headed northbound. But we want to make some big things happen tomorrow. We're going to be role playing and drilling through, showing the complete set. And I want to see, the top guys, and you can watch these guys do it. I want to see how they're showing it, the guys I've taught already. We're making sure you guys all know how to explain the names and uses, like going through there live with the customers as we're showing the basic tools, making it really simple as we really walk into the weekend to really drop bombs. By the way, I'll tell you right now, we started Alliance, and I had a message this morning as I was arriving here. Okay, this was a message at, let me see this, if this shows what time it was at. 7:15 a.m. So when we were setting up stuff here, one of the Alliance members in Louisiana, by the way, we beat Louisiana by 2 grand last week, but it's going to be a battle to the end. They've been ripping it. They crushed it last night. They were going all night until like midnight. I was getting messages because he's one of our biggest competitors, and you guys watch his videos in training, Danny Fellman, who was going to like the selling sets and everything. They had one of their girls had a 6 a.m. demo before Alliance. And so she had arrived at Alliance, by the way, dropping an ultimate already for the morning. So it was like, came to Alliance up, started my day already, ultimate sale. I was like, what? Like, it's 7:15 a.m. And she's like, already the day has begun at over $2,000 in sales. So are you thinking big enough? Because I even saw that and I was like, holy crap. And I remember, people having demos at 5:30, 6 a.m. and whether they were live demos with the crazy people that are morning birds, okay, or early birds. The fact is, there's people, and I remember I've gone to the gym at 6 a.m. before, against every wish of mine, but someone dragging me out there. And I've gone to the gym at 6 before. I did this many times in Miami where I walked in and I'm like, I look like this, but like worse because I've been up already for like an hour and a half. And I'm like, oh, like walking. And there's like that person who's walking out of the gym, like so peppy with their smoothie. And they're like, have a great day. And it's like almost 6 a.m. I'm like, you're leaving with this much pep, drinking a smoothie right now, you know? But they like love mornings. And like, that's Mary Lou's mom, by the way. Mary Lou's mom goes to the gym at like 4:30 a.m. every single day. She's like ready to conquer the world. So there's those people, which we're trying to coach ourselves to be more like and get more done in the day. And you have a demo with one of those guys early morning, or it's a virtual, you know? Can you have a virtual with somebody on the East Coast, or somebody? I remember one of my guys, he had his brother-in-law was in the military and he was in a base over in Germany, you know, so doing virtuals with people in different time zones, late night, early morning. Are you guys asking for those leads, by the way, when you're getting racks? Make sure you are. Who do you know who's an early bird? Who do you know who's a night owl? And you could say, yeah, there was one of the people that we're competing with had an appointment at like 5:30, 6 in the morning and dropped like $2,000. Be like, I'm trying to get some more early and late night demos so we can fill all the spots. But it is phone jam time. I want to make sure, again, every morning you guys are tracking. You want to track 25 calls. And if you want to make more, you make more. But sit down and just ripping through. And you guys always have your list of people that you're going to call through so you don't waste any time. So Tobar's grabbing the trackers right now, but the goal is every morning, can you book up 2 or 3 more demos every single morning? Cool. That's the focus every day. If you book up more, great. But if you booked up 2 to 3 more every single morning, right? And then you guys are doing 5 calls and 5 calls before and after each demo. You have your Sunday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night strong jams. There's no reason you can't have 15 to 20 demos a week, which is what we want to make sure that you're on pace to do. In order to do $10,000 in sales, it's 40 appointments for most people, which is 20 appointments per week. Cool. So that's the focus there. So I want to get started with our day.